Last year I come up on a new hobby, and that was watching this true crime shit that's on YouTube.
Okay, first off, Ryan, I'm sorry, you didn't fall into the true crime community of YouTube. You landed in Krama. It's a completely separate, it's a different breed altogether. You missed the real true crime channels by about 10 blocks. Every channel you went into, Krama.
And around that same time was when this missing person, Kiely Rodni, started popping up all over the internet. I never even knew about this section that was called true crime. I never knew of these true crime YouTubers. And at the time I was like, well shit, I got 3 million subscribers. I can try to help find somebody. I have a lot of people all over the world that, got eyeballs that can look around. So
I know some might disagree with me, but I do believe that you had good intentions when you landed in this Krama community. I truly believe you had good intentions when you were trying to dig up information on Summer Wells's case. As well as this, I think it all started out with good intentions.
I started clicking and watching these videos that people were talking about this Kiely Rodni girl and, where she was missing from and, all the logistics. And I started noticing there was some weird shit about some of these, in particular, true crime YouTubers. Now, before we go any further or get into this, let me give you some context by showing you a news clip from CBS Sacramento that's talking about this exact situation.
It's been 1 year since Kiely Rodni disappeared from a party at the Prosser family campground. The disappearance of the Truckee teen got the attention of people all across the country as thousands of tips poured into Placer County's tip line. Kiely was last seen at a high school party at that campground.
By the way, she didn't go to high school, apparently. She was homeschooled.
See, this is what happens in Krama. Facts get twisted and rumor and speculation get brought in. Kiely graduated a year early from a charter high school in Truckee, California. She was homeschooled until the 8th grade. Big difference there.
At the time, Placer County officials said her Honda CR-V was missing and her cell phone was out of service.
By the way, there is absolutely no evidence that proves they found a cell phone. But apparently she was texting all of her friends that were also at this party.
Law enforcement updated us at the time that the last known ping from Kiely's cell phone was around 12:30 a.m. on August 6th, the day she went missing from a party of over 200 to 300 teens, although I'm going to put an asterisk by that 200 to 300 teens, and young adults at the Prosser family campground in Truckee. The last ping was near Prosser Lake, a man-made reservoir that surrounds the campground, but it's possible due to lost data that the phone continued to ping after 12:30. The ping for the data points was near the water. It's hard to tell an exact pinpoint, just as much on land as it was in water.
Initially, the case was considered suspicious, even being investigated as a possible abduction.
If you're a teenager going to a party where there's drinking and hanging out and people have curfews, the first thing you're going to think is, okay, they're out with a boy or they're spending the night at a friend's house or they ain't trying to get in trouble and they're high. Why they said abduction off the rip, I have no idea.
Why are you assuming that they didn't look everywhere they could possibly think to look for her before calling law enforcement? But let's also hear what law enforcement has to say about this.
Why did agencies believe it was an abduction at first?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of miscommunication. I don't know that it was ever labeled as an abduction. I think that you can never take that off the table. And so as we talked as a command group in unified command with all my partners that you see behind us, you couldn't remove that off the table because we hadn't found her. And so, that was some of the struggles with some of the services that we wanted to obtain and things we wanted to do, but we couldn't say it wasn't an abduction, but we also never said that it was an abduction. I think that was clarified fairly early on, but we also probably wouldn't have received all the services and all the people if that wasn't an option. If this was truly a search and rescue mission, we may not have had all the resources to conduct interviews.
Not unless somebody called and was like, hey, I think I just seen an abduction.
But 2 weeks later, and nearly 20,000 man-hours of searching in, Kiely's car was found in Prosser Lake. It was found by Adventures with Purpose, a YouTube-famous dive team. They said it was about 14 feet down, close to where Kiely was last seen.
Then I hear that, and I'm just like, I don't get it. 20,000 man-hours in looking where this person went missing, and you can't find her around a 23,903 foot perimeter around a reservoir, especially when the town law enforcement is getting on TV holding a press conference telling you they had divers and sonars and they dragged the lake and all this shit, and then some YouTubers show up and find it in 14 minutes. Come on, son.
Okay, I'm so glad you brought this one up because it's constantly referred to in missing persons cases, especially when the individual is found very close to where they went missing from. Instant speculation. But it happens. It is like looking for a needle in a haystack. I spoke briefly on my live the other day about the waters dropping a certain amount between the time when they initially started the search and when AWP showed up, but I couldn't remember where I heard it from. Well, here you go.
And it seems that Adventures with Purpose have pretty sophisticated equipment. Is this something that the agencies here have, or you all still need?
Yeah, I'll have to debrief with them to figure out what equipment exactly they use to see if it's items that we have or if it's a matter of training with the items that we have. So until we talk to them and know exactly what they used and how they went about it, I wouldn't be able to answer that correctly.
They also said the car was 14 feet deep. Did y'all go that far to look for the car?
Yeah, some of that information is sometimes deceiving. So yeah, the car was reported at 14 or 15 feet. However, the water level since the 6th has also dropped a vertical 3.5 to 4 feet, which could be 20 to 25 feet off of shore. So a lot of things have changed in those aspects. Until we really can look into all that information and sort through it, it's difficult to say whether those factors had a play in it or not. I think it's still more important for us to debrief, look at training, look at equipment, look at tools, and look at outside entities that are experts, where this is maybe their full-time gig that they do, and try to see how we have that involvement from the community to come out and help support.
So not only were they dealing with a significant change in the water level, they're also dealing with volunteer crews, local crews who aren't necessarily experts in their field like AWP has become, or other diving teams like Diver Dan. Situations like that where they have sophisticated equipment and they can get out there and do a much better job than local law enforcement, even local search and rescue teams can do.
And then in October, the coroner's office ruled Kiely's death accidental.
Ruled as accidental, but she was found in the water in the very, very back of a CRV with some of the windows down. Come on, son.
Okay, now you have to think back on where this little tidbit started from. Jared Lysick went on Zap Girl's panel and said that it was very weird to find a body in the back of the vehicle in these types of situations. Besides him, every other expert out there in this field has said, no, that's not uncommon. It does happen. There's several reasons for this. One, she could have died on impact and her body just floated to the back of the vehicle. Or two, and what I think happened, is that the vehicle turtled, which happens in water deeper than 14 feet. Now remember, Kiely's vehicle was found in 14 feet deep water. However, we learned that on the 6th, when she went missing, it was about 3 to 4 feet higher. So in 18 feet deep water, her vehicle flipped over, wheels up in the air. Water comes rushing in the open window that she has down. Remember, this is an intoxicated girl who decided to drive home through a campground in the middle of the night. She took a wrong turn. Her vehicle ended up in the water, flipped upside down. That water comes rushing in the window. She's going to go to the highest point. If she's still alive and conscious, she's going to go to the highest point and try to escape. And that's the back of the vehicle.
The Nevada County Sheriff's Office said the 16-year-old died from drowning.
But here's the thing. If you look up the autopsy report, it doesn't show any water in the lungs. How did she drown if there's no water in there?
This one should have been very easy for you to figure out. In the past, doctors used the terms wet drowning and dry drowning before the medical community had the necessary diagnostic tools to examine breathing. Once they learned that drowning results from a lack of oxygen and not the volume of water in the lungs, the term drowning replaced both wet and dry drowning. Despite not being a medically accurate term, some researchers and doctors may still occasionally say dry drowning to refer to cases in which water or another liquid causes the voice box and vocal folds to spasm. It can occur in at least 20% of people who have drowned.
Officials said there was no indication of foul play.
All right, now that you're up to speed on what I'm talking about, and you just heard from CBS News, allegedly, what happened? And I know you can hear that it really doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense, actually. A young girl who was 16 and graduated early. It does happen. My husband graduated at 17 because he graduated high school an entire year early. She went to the annual graduation party that the entire community attends. She had too much to drink, maybe other substances. And instead of hooking up with her friends and driving home, instead of sleeping there like she told other friends she was going to do, she made the decision to drive home. A girl under the influence made a stupid decision. Ryan, I think you of all people should understand that quite well. But anybody who has ever been a teenager or knows a teenager knows they make stupid decisions. And unfortunately, this very stupid decision cost her her life. A very traumatic experience for her entire family, compounded by the rumors and conspiracy that was spread online. But I think you're about to get into that.
All right, so let's briefly recap that simple situation that apparently has happened. You have a girl that went to a party and a CRV. There's no pictures of this girl hardly on the internet. There's definitely absolutely no fucking videos. There's one video that is allegedly supposed to be her. It's a little girl like playing a violin or something like 15 years ago, very shitty quality. So she's 16, 17 when she went missing. This video is from her being like 4 or 5 years old. So I don't know if it's her or not, and no one does.
No video of her, you say? Like this one from prom, homecoming, whatever it was, where she's being cute and playful with her boyfriend? Here's just a handful of photos posted by friends. There's several more out there if you look. There's also this video of her just a few years before she died. And this video posted by her ex-boyfriend. Now, I can't blame you for not knowing about this one. He posted it after all this YouTube madness.
Give me like a couple hours, then we can go. Give me like a couple hours, then we can go. Give me like a couple hours, then we can go.
There's no pictures of her beside a CRV. There's no videos of her and her friends. There's no pictures or videos of her at this party. There's no evidence of a phone. And 20,000 man hours couldn't find her directly beside where she went missing, and some YouTubers pull up and they're like, look guys, found her really fast. I don't care who you are. If you have common sense and know anything about anything, you know that sounds like bullshit. It just does. The question is why?
Well, I've already shared plenty of pictures of her and her friends, and there's a lot more out there. I do agree, it's weird that there are no pictures of the party. However, you have to remember that she was reported missing very quickly, and rumors began to spread like wildfire. Law enforcement also requested all the videos and evidence from the party. Her friends and family were attacked immediately on social media. Not just YouTube, but TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. I'm not surprised that people didn't put any more information out about the party. As for why there are no pictures with her and her vehicle, it's a CRV, dude. So what that there's no pictures of her with the CRV? I know it's weird in this social media driven world to think that there are some teenagers out there who don't post every tiny bit of their life on social media, but there are.
So anyway, I get on YouTube after I just come across this section of YouTube that's all about true crime, whatever true crime is. I'm still not sure what that means. And I run across this guy named Ickedmel. He's a true crime YouTuber. Well, he's interviewing this guy named Ronnie on the phone who's explaining the party. And it sounds like at first, it sounds like he was there. And then he's like, no, it was my cousins were there. They seen the party. They seen that girl. They said she was super fucking intoxicated and just wasn't even there. And there was some adults there and yada, 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 yada. I'm just like, what the hell?
And there was a bunch of kids there. Like, there was a bunch of kids from school there, but, like, it was mixed with older adults who had the drugs. And my cousins were one of the older group that had the stuff. And my cousins are 25 and 26 years old.
So then as I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, this Ronnie guy who was calling this true crime YouTuber Ickedmel is being like, hey, yeah, my cousins were there. They're adults. They brought drugs there to the party of a fuck ton of kids. Bruh. So I'm like, well, that was fucking weird. This random guy just called and was like, yeah, seen the whole thing.
There's this weird thing that happens when a huge case spreads across the country, like Kiely's did. The way that the Idaho 4 case is right now. People want to be connected to it any tiny sort of way. They want to have their moment. As for the dude that called into Ickedmel, do I believe him? No, I personally don't believe him. If his cousins were there, I think he grossly exaggerated his knowledge of what happened at the party, if they were even there. But we have seen this happen time and time again in true crime and crime, etc. People claiming to have knowledge of an incident when they truly have zero knowledge of it, or exaggerating their knowledge of that incident. We're debunking these claims all the time. And it sucks that you got taken for a ride and you believed it, but that doesn't necessarily mean any of his claims were true.
So I start scrolling and I'm like, okay, well, I see this little thing where her alleged friends, really, really close friends, threw this thing for her at the place she went missing. And her friends that were at the party are talking about the party to the news. This is what the alleged best friend of Kiely says.
I told her, like, I'm leaving. I already have another ride because I didn't want to drive home with her. And so I had told her that, but she still ended up calling me at 12:36 asking if I needed a ride, and she sounded just really drunk, I guess. It grew to be way, way larger than ever expected. There was a lot of guys that did approach us.
Okay, so do you hear that? So you mean to tell me this missing teen, Kiely Rodni, her best friend, Sammy Smith, the girl you just seen, and the random caller on the Ickedmel dude's channel who does the true crime shit, they both have the same story. Keep in mind, this is before she was found.
It's not just people calling into YouTube shows that exaggerate things. People actually connected to cases exaggerate as well, or they misremember the situation. Especially drunk teenagers, I have a feeling they misremember a lot. As for him telling the same story as hers, think about that for a second. Could it be because he listened to her interviews? Maybe.
At this time, I didn't really think anything about the Ickedmel dude. I was just like, yo, that guy that called you, that was kind of weird how he knew all this shit. The same shit that the Sammy girl knew. How's that possible? He's a grown-ass man. That's a little girl. What the fuck's up with this? So one day I called it out. I was like, yo, what's up with the Ronnie guy, bro? Next thing I know, the Ickedmel dude is mad at me. The Ronnie dude is mad at me. And they're both on that true crime channel that Ickedmel owns, doing this very weird interview where dude pixelated the entire background so you couldn't see anything. And they're on there and they're like, what's wrong with that Upchurch guy? Is he on drugs? I mean, is he an idiot? Is he stupid? He must be. And I'm like, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
A chance to get heat off of me. So I put his name in the bio. And it worked. Because Ryan was already fishy of him. And I'm not going to say it because he's going to get pissed because if I start talking shit to him. He went ahead and was like, oh, look, it's a conspiracy. I was like, bro, you really are dumb. Like, you really are dumb, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with him.
And when I seen this clip, I noticed he said, hey, this is a chance to get heat off me.
It's a chance to get heat off of me.
And I was like, And when this is going on, this is when the Ickedmel guy started trying to paint the narrative. You know, he started calling me Alex Jones and saying, something's wrong with him. Oh, man, what's wrong with him?
There's nothing wrong with him.
So at that point, I'm like, something is wrong with me because I asked a legitimate question about the guy that called your true crime YouTube, being like, hey, bro, I seen everything. I'm not accepting that, no.
You make it sound really innocent right there. I just asked a simple question, and they flipped out. But let's see what really happened.
And I have to, I guess, talk about this somewhat, RyanUpchurch, because he's posting crazy stuff, then deleting it really quick, which, by the way, I've downloaded your Twitch videos for whenever you start doing that and you come to your senses, you delete those crazy videos. But I have screenshots of this guy threatening to swap me and all this.
These screenshots are from the comment section of one of Ickedmel's lives. They come from RyanUpchurch, and one says, I'm waiting to watch the raid. The other one says, you should be getting a knock on your door.
People in my chat are saying that they're getting doxxed by I don't know who, but when he comes in, this stuff starts to happen. And he seems like he's either on something or having some sort of mental breakdown. Just my opinion. I don't like engaging in the drama. I have some video clips to show you that he deleted really quickly, but I don't like engaging in this stuff. But he doxed Ronnie. He's going on this crazy tirade, which a whole bunch of these YouTubers are entertaining. I mean, it's insane the things that this guy's doing, and it needs to be put out there that he needs to stop. His team needs to reach out to him. Yo, delete this shit. Get some help, whatever's going on with your ass. And stop harassing and obsessing in my live chat and watching me everything I do. And like you said, download 1,000 of my videos and shit. And whatever else you're doing with Ronnie and all the other people, Milo, whatever the fuck you're doing, chill the fuck out. And I don't know how people are taking these crazy bizarre stories, these crazy details, as some sort of like fact of this story with Kiely. So this was just part of tonight. I have videos downloaded, this guy posted it, and we have the Ronnie stuff too. People are collecting, people on the internet are watching the insanity of you, except like the YouTubers that are obsessed with you that are somehow blinded and they can't see the insanity that you're doing. But people are recording this stuff, right? You need to stop this shit.
But guess what? I don't fucking give a fuck. You know why? Because if it gets me sued, it's gonna find out something in this Kiely Rodni case, and I don't give a fuck if I get sued. I would rather a 16-year-old girl be found. Listen to me, bro. There are two YouTubers who are being very, 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 very suspect when it comes to this little girl. The two YouTubers are Ickedmel. He is being suspect. He's acting exactly.
I'm being suspect. This nut job on the internet, fucking going to all my live streams, watching and all this kind of stuff, literally threatening. The way I took that is that I'm getting swatted. That's why I took that chat. And people's names in the chat are being put up by whoever. All right.
Like this chick that was on the All-American Dream Chasers podcast yesterday. Her name is XanamayX. Both of them fucking people have the same goddamn purple light.
Purple light. This guy's going off of the lighting in my background. This is the guy that these YouTubers are like, yo, this is for real. This is facts. Let's check out Ronnie's legs. They're white. Insane. Who entertains this shit because he's a whatever he is? Come on.
In their YouTube channels. They are both taking up for each other. Both of those YouTubers are taking up for this mysterious Ronnie guy that claims to know where she went. The XanamayX girl says she has pictures of the party that was right beside the one Kiely was at. That ain't fucking possible, bro. That's not.
No, XanamayX was talking about a video that she found on the Snap app. When you pull up Snapchat and you look at the Snap map, you see videos that people publicly post. One was of a party very close to where Kiely went missing from. We don't know if it was before or after, but those pictures, those videos, they stay up for days when you put them on public viewing.
Not possible. Both of these YouTubers are pressing that Ronnie is a real guy.
He is, but thank God that you're insane and you think he's not. Literally, somebody sent me a video this morning in my email driving by a place they thought was Ronnie's house. I literally have the video. I'm not going to show it here. This is the shit that you started and that you're doing because you put that his whatever image that was of a house and people are looking that shit up. You've been wrong in so much of the shit that you've been saying, but I'm going to try to say that this is some sort of mental health thing, or maybe you're on substances, just my opinion. I don't know, but you need to like turn off the camera and get your ass some help.
He's not a real guy. They don't know. The XanamayX girl is in the fucking military. The Challenger has military.
It's buffering. That's why I did that. And I guess he took his video down.
Information.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'll put it all together for you and show you. I'll show.
And then a helicopter flies over his head.
Oh shit, there's a helicopter. Yo, there's a helicopter flying over my house. Oh shit, look at this.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
Why is this helicopter following me? Whoa, he's turning around. What the fuck? Yo, look at this. Yo, that's crazy. I'm putting this video together. This means something. I don't give a fuck what you're
What does it mean? We're in the helicopter flying above you? I'm going to throw this one in there too, though. This is just this guy going on whatever tirade. There's a bunch of shit that I haven't even looked at. I just downloaded the stuff of the recent stuff with Ronnie and the Twitch stuff because this guy's unhinged. And so once he comes to his senses and deletes shit, we have a record in case. So just check this out.
They drove by some fucking water. He threw the goddamn phone in the water. Somebody did. That's why it's pinging there, but not there. Yeah, because Ickedmel's a fucking idiot. Anyway, if this dude right here, goddamn dude, Jesus Christ. Look, man, fuck it, watch. Who insisted he calls me. All right, so the white dude last... It ain't a fucking rabbit hole! It's easy to understand! What do you mean?
Here's a rabbit hole. Black hand. Black legs. That's black legs. I just... And this is like a mystery, I guess, in the true crime community. How? This is like something that people are like scratching their heads and trying to solve. How? Like, yeah, we don't know. Oh, we got to figure it out. Let's have a panel of 30 people. Yeah. Wow. Oh, I don't know. It's black. It's white. And then Ryan's argument about Ronnie is that he doesn't sound black. And people literally running with this whole thing. Oh, yeah, that's so true. Yeah. Well, yeah, what up? That's the argument about how he sounds if it sounds black. Listen, I'm not interested in going there no back and forth. This was just a tiny little small clip because you're out of control. Things are being saved and documented. The people that are around him and like love him or whatever, you guys should be like, yo, are you okay? Hey, are you all right, man? I noticed this and that. Like, whatever. Because this is not a good look. I've had people that told me they're fans of him wondering like, yo, what the heck is going on with this dude? And this does not help the story with Kiely at all. Like, I mean, I get it. People need something to latch onto, I guess, because there's nothing coming out. It doesn't need to be like this. People don't need to be threatened, harassed, doxxed, threatens for SWAT, all this kind of shit. It doesn't need to be to this level. I've been quiet all this time for all your little shenanigans, your nuttiness, and people that call into my show. You're accusing them of being selling drugs, calling them all kinds of names, saying they're accusing them of having Kiely, accusing them of a crime. These are all on your channel, putting up pictures of houses and shit. All kinds of accusations that you're doing. And then you're saying I'm involved. And now there's other YouTubers involved. And the helicopter flying above you is involved. And Miro Milo Wulu is involved. There's something wrong. Okay? Something's wrong with you. Get some help. Seriously. And whatever you're going through, man, that's not an excuse to tear everybody else down, threaten people, and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So take care. Peace.
About this same time, another random true crime YouTuber named XanamayX pops up out of nowhere. And listen, when I say pops up out of nowhere, I mean she didn't really have a YouTube channel at all. She had like 2 videos about Ukraine and weapons. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, looking at this lady's page, and I'm like, how do you go from Ukraine and weapons to true crime within like 3 videos? Keep in mind, the Kiely Rodni girl's car is not found at this point. Everyone's still looking for it. So I see her on some true crime panels and stuff, talking about the Kiely Rodni girl. So I click on her page. When I click on it, what do I see? This lady is in Prosser Reservoir, where the little girl went missing, where the car is still at this time. And she is pedaling and swimming and looking around the whole campground where the little girl went missing.
It's a steep hill. Okay. And we're here.
1, what are you doing there? 2, did you hear her go, we're here?
We're here.
And the little tag in the corner that said campground. What, you weren't there when you pulled up? But you had to pull up, put your canoe in, and paddle all the way over there to somewhere where you could drive to if you wanted to. And then you're like, yep, we're here, as you pull out your phone and show that that's exactly where the car went in the water.
The dot is not exactly where Kiely's car went in the water. This image is from GrayHughesInvestigates. The orange circle is the boat ramp where XanamayX got off at, and that's where that dot is in her picture. The pink circle is where the car was found.
Then I comment on one of her videos, and I'm like, hey, kind of weird that you're there. What are you doing over there? And she's like, fuck you, I hate you. What's wrong with you? Everyone's worried about you. All your fans are worried about you. Are you on drugs? And I'm like, why are you saying the same thing that Ickedmel and Ronnie said, bro?
You really simplified what actually happened there. You had been on several channels talking about XanamayX, linking her to so many conspiracies. She didn't just come out saying, oh my God, I hate you, you're weird, you're on something, blah, blah, blah.
So she keeps telling me over and over. She's like, your community is worried about you. Finally, I was just like, shut up. Now, I'll
Your community
shut
took
up,
it a little
lady.
bit
Play the
further.
video.
Okay, let's play the video. Let's get the video.
So then here's where she starts her discrediting process. She's like, oh, well, he said this and this. And I'm like, I didn't say any of those things. Prove it. And she couldn't.
I got no problems with calling RyanUpchurch out on it, but he's saying he didn't say it. You can't accuse somebody of saying something they didn't say.
You want proof? Well, hold on.
Why are you so scared? You want proof? Hold on. Why are you so defensive?
Right,
I'm pressing your ass. Ronnie seen somebody at the fucking party. You seen the party. The little girl went missing around the fucking party. Are you all stupid as fuck or something? Do y'all not understand? Even the people in chat, no.
XanamayX wasn't at the party herself. She shared a video that she took off of the snap map. I mentioned it earlier. Here's the video, and then I'm going to show you how she found this, since some people still don't get this.
Yeah, there it is.
There we go. Okay, we got it.
Those look amazing. So this was at actual campground, but it was like right next to them, right next to their party.
Oh wow!
And they look like they're having so much fun. I want to be part of this, right?
Yeah.
So I took a video.
And it looks like a beautiful campground. No, it's gorgeous,
right? And it was right next to that.
Wow. So this is a place where families go to have a good time. It looks safe. It looks safe.
Exactly.
Looks like a safe place to be. It looks like a lot of fun.
And then, so this was Friday night.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay, this is my personal Snapchat, so I marked out a few things so you don't see my friends and myself. But this is the snap map on Snapchat. You zoom in on the blue bubbles, click on it, and you can see the community stories. People have to load these stories up to the community tab. And you can do this across the country. Zoom in on these bubbles and see what people post to the community stories. That's all XanamayX did.
All right, so now let's put the timeline together. Do you realize now that means, so now you got this Ronnie guy who's calling into Ickedmel's true crime show. He's like, my cousins were there and seen everything. You got Sammy, who is the little girl's best friend, who was like, I was there and then left. But I'm the last person Kiely talked to. Now you got the XanamayX chick who is like, yeah, I seen the party and was there. And the next day, canoeing there. They're all in some way, shape, or form at this party this little girl went missing at that apparently nobody seen. And not to mention, they all take up for each other when they apparently don't know each other at all.
And I appreciate that lady. I think her name's like XanamayX or something.
XanamayX.
She was defending me.
So I'm like, bruh, all these people are capping. Why do they all have the same story? Why are they all lying? And why just so happens the weekend this little girl went missing, everybody's eyeballs is broke.
Most of what you just claimed is inaccurate for the very reasons I've already explained. XanamayX didn't claim to be at the party. She shared a party that was happening there that same weekend. And why were these people sticking up for each other? Because they were being attacked across multiple platforms. So they came to each other's defense. This is truly not hard to understand.
I'm like, okay, you got 300 kids at this party. Ain't nobody said shit. Just 4 dumbass adults on here being like, I seen the kid party. So I'm like, dude, I got a good way to tell if this is bullshit or not. If a kid knows something about something that he didn't do, if a kid seen anything happen at this party, I'm going to offer him $100,000 in a Hellcat. Then we'll see who really was at the party. What kid's going to say no to $100,000 in a fucking, the rapper car? So I put the offer out there. This is what happened.
I do thank you offering the reward, $100,000 leading to information or the discovery of Kiely Rodni, plus your car. I think that was a very generous thing to do. I don't think anyone should take that away from you. It was very kind.
So right before she was found, where everybody's like, oh my God, where's she at? This, that, and the other. And, everybody who's kind of sleuthing and talking about it on the true crime, they're all going at each other's throats and being like, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. What are you doing to help? And I see everybody like arguing with each other. So I figured, okay, she went missing at a party full of teenagers. Someone's got to know something. So I offered $100,000 and my $100,000 Hellcat to whoever had tips leading directly to her, or to anyone who just flat out found her. So you got this little girl missing, no one can find her, no teenager knows where she went, nothing. And then all of a sudden, I put out a reward that is bigger than any reward that's out for her. Why? Because my heart's like this big around. In my head, I'm thinking, well, shit, I'm lucky enough to have a job I like, I'm rich, I could spare $200,000, see if anybody can find her. She's found in the next few days by Adventures with Purpose. When I seen the news that she was found, I was like, damn, all right. Look, I got cold chills even thinking about it. I was like, well, I'm going to hold up mine to the deal. I'm a man of my word. So I had my accountant at the time send $100,000 to Jared Lasik, and I gave Doug the Hellcat and had the Hellcat delivered by my security guard, drove it all the way to his house, dropped it off, flew back home.
AWP found Kiely Rodni's vehicle and her in it about a week after you offered the Hellcat. And in that week, you were doing quite a bit online that you are leaving out here in your timeline, sir. AWP had already announced that they were going to head out there on their way back home from other searches and look for Kiely before you ever offered the vehicle. So I'm not going to say that you're insinuating something in those previous comments, even though it sounds like you were. But those plans were already in the works long before anyone knew that you were going to offer basically $200,000.
So after she's found, then what happens? Jared Lasik all over the internet. Everybody's like, oh, he's a weirdo. He did some weird sexual shit. And I'm like, what? I see it on the internet. I haven't looked into it, but I see it. And at first I was like, hell, who knows? It could be just somebody who doesn't like him. Until I seen all of AWP get online and quit AWP. So right before everybody in AWP got on the internet and was like, hey, we quit AWP, somebody came to my house. I'm not going to say who. And he was like, it's somebody very close to the whole finding of this car and whatnot. They come to me and they were like, I'm scared. I was like, why? And he was like, this involves like higher up people. I was like, who? He gave me a few names. And I was like, yeah, even I was kind of like, this motherfucker's crazy. And then about a week after, everybody quit AWP. It's not a thing.
This isn't a weird conspiracy. Jared Lasik's accuser has said that when she saw AWP being touted as heroes across national news for finding Kiely Rodni's body, it enraged her. She knew what he had done to her as a child. So she reached out to AWP through emails, and a back and forth happened between her and Jared or someone at AWP, where he basically admits to doing those things to her as a child. And that caused all of the members of AWP to step away from it. They did not want to be connected to someone who basically admitted to molesting a child. I'm sure you're going to tell us about these higher ups and this person visiting your house. I can't wait to hear about it whenever you do release that information.
Now, the family that I put up $200,000 to find their daughter is like, hey, we're suing you for defamation of character. Defamation of character? Huh? So there you go. I don't know what the fuck that means. I know it's fucking creepy and weird.
I don't think it's creepy and weird that her family is suing you for defamation, considering all the things that you said and did, not only about Kiely, but also about her father and her grandfather. You're leaving a lot out of this recap, Ryan. Quite a bit, actually.
And, it's like, what do you think after that? A normal person is like, wait a minute. Was this all bullshit? Was this like entertainment? Was this like some kind of fucked up entertainment? Or, some kind of criminal operation? What the fuck was this? I have a theory on what all this was, with pretty valid points behind it. But I had to make this video so everyone understands what this is, so everyone understands the timeline, so everybody is just on the same page. Because, see, that's the thing. They purposely make it perplexed enough and complicated to where it sounds confusing. But that's how you would get away with, you know, a crime. If you want to hear my theory, let me know in the comments. That video will be next. And, it's a mindfuck, to say the least.
So your recap video, your timeline video, whatever you want, you put this out there so that we can all get on the same page with the accurate timeline. Although it's not an accurate timeline, and you're leaving out quite a bit of things that you did during that time frame. But now get on this same page so that we can all be waiting with bated breath for whatever you're about to put out next. Because it's going to be a mindfuck. I'm pretty sure that's what you've been doing to everybody all along.